Well, good evening. Now we have got an amazing one-day special, one-day special that I have been looking forward for a while because it's all about the spice kitchen. It's all about the most beautiful flavors from India and, of course, the world. And you can bring them to your own kitchen. Now, before we go into details of what we have as in the one-day special and as well in the show, we have got Sanjay joining us via Skype. Hello, Sanjay. How are you?
Oh, I'm very well, Paula. How are you doing?
I'm really well. Now, the smells in the studio from the spices are absolutely amazing. You source your spices from all over the world, don't you?
We do, yeah. So we're basically an artisan spice company. We source spices from all over the world, as you said, and we try and source the best quality spices we can also. All of our spice blends are actually made in-house, so we make all the blends in kind of small batches, as fresh as we possibly can. And, you know, it's made, packed and sent out to our customers around the UK and around the world, actually, every day. But yeah, it's all about sourcing the best quality. You know, we kind of always champion, you know, we say we're globally sourced and locally crafted. And yeah, you know, we just try every day to make the best quality products because it has a big impact on people's dishes.
And that's very, I can tell that because the smells of spices, sometimes, I remember sometimes you smell something and it's overpowering, but it doesn't have that depth of flavor. With this, it's not like suddenly it shocks you, it just suddenly penetrates you. It's just that beautiful scents that come into you. And then it's just like that kind of slowly build of the intensity, or at least a smell-wise. I'm sure that food-wise that happens as well. And that's important, isn't it, for the Indian cooking, that kind of deep flavor throughout?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, Indian food is really based on layers and layers of flavor, on using really fresh ingredients. You know, we'll cook later with kind of onion and garlic and ginger and chili. Then with the combination of the spices and really good quality fresh produce, you know, chicken or vegetables or meats, you can create incredible dishes, really. And then aromatics like coriander. So yeah, good quality spices are the fundamentals to not only Indian cooking, but, you know, lots of spice-filled dishes from around the world, really.
Absolutely. And well, what do we get also in the one-day special? Because aside from the tin, which I adore it, that is something traditional as well, isn't it? To have the tin with the different spices within the tin as well.
Yeah, so these are Indian spice boxes. They're called masala dabbas historically, which just translates as spice box. But they're very, very traditional Indian households. So most Indian households have them in India and around the world. And they're just a really useful tool for keeping your spices in, keeping them fresh. And also when you're cooking, you've just got easy access to all of those key spices. The one-day special has our Indian spice box, which is our signature, and within that you get 9 core spices that are the building blocks for every Indian dish. So we've got things like mustard seeds, cumin seeds, chili, you've got coriander powder, mustard seeds, turmeric, but you've also got our garam masala, which is our signature blend. It's been in our family for many generations, and it's kind of, again, really core to all Indian food, and then you also get cardamom, cloves and cinnamon. So with those 9 you can pretty much cook any dish. And
I love that idea. It's basically like almost like a Pandora's box full of flavors in there that you can then customize it. Now you also are getting the Indian recipe guide. So for instance, somebody like me that has no idea how to cook anything, this would be essential because you are telling us all your secrets basically on how to mix, how to put the right recipes. Am I right thinking that?
Yeah, so what we've done is we've just put together kind of me and my mum's favourite dishes, some of our family favourites, some, you know, we're really proud of. And there's dal, there's vegetarian dishes, you've got tandoori chicken, you're just flicking over there. Yeah. We've got some lamb recipes, we've got chickpea recipes, which I'll do today. That's a paneer, so it's an Indian cheese. Yeah. So yeah, there's a real versatile mix. We've even got chutney recipes in there as well. Fabulous. But this is just a starter, really. It's got kind of 12 to 15 recipes in, and then we've got a website with hundreds and hundreds of recipes on there, not only from us, but from chefs and food bloggers and influencers we work with, and, you know, some of our customers even. So hopefully it's just the start. But as I say, Pandora's box, once you kind of get going with these recipes, then, you know, the world's your oyster, really.
Absolutely, because I love as well that the tin comes with a transparent lid, because the spices are so beautiful to look at. So it's self-contained and you have them there as well. Now, but it's not just this, which, by the way, has a great taste. I can see a word which I know that whenever anything food-wise has a great taste, I know I'm going to love it, because that's a massive award, isn't it?
Yeah, the Great Taste is really proud to achieve a few of them over the last 6 years, really. It's almost the Oscars of the food industry.
I know.
And yeah, Garam Masala's won it. Ras Al Hanout has won it on the Moroccan tin. Our mulled spices.
Wow.
So, you know, and we've entered this year as well. But the Indian Spice Box has also won another award, which is the Gift of the Year award, which is the again, Oscars for the gifting industry. So we're then pitted against every gift really in the market. And you know, we won that a few years ago, and that was incredibly proud moment for us.
Yeah.
You know, we never ever.
And it makes such a beautiful present as well, because we always are wondering what to get to people, and this could be it. Gingerbread hot chocolate. Well, we have the hot chocolate bundle, not just the gingerbread one. We have got there, and it's dairy-free and gluten-free. So it's not even like, so a lot of the times hot chocolates are not vegan. This is perfect for all our friends that are vegan, and the yummiest hot chocolate. Oh, can you tell us a little bit, what's the idea behind the hot chocolates, you know, kind of concoctions?
Yeah, sure. So we're working with a company called Zuma, who are a fair trade cocoa grower, one of the best companies in the UK, we find. As you mentioned, a lot of hot chocolates have got milk powder in, ours don't. And the yummiest hot chocolate is a really plain, beautiful hot chocolate. And then we've got a couple of award-winning spice blends, sweeter ones. So there you've got gingerbread, which is a mix. It's actually more like a Dutch gingerbread mix.
Ooh.
So it's not only got just ginger and cinnamon, but actually things like cardamom and nutmeg and cloves in.
Fabulous.
So it's quite complex.
Yeah.
And then we've also got a chai hot chocolate. So chai is a traditional sort of tea drink drank in India, and the keynote spice is cardamom, and then it's got a combination of other spices in. So yeah, it's amazing hot chocolate, and then you've obviously got a couple which are even tastier because they've got these wonderful spices flowing through them as well.
I love the idea to have something for the savory, the main dish, and then you have something for the hot chocolate as well. I would imagine that the hot chocolate as well, you can create like a thicker consistency, so you could do sauces as well, something like that, maybe for drizzle over maybe a bake or something like that.
Yeah, it's quite versatile. You can obviously use, to make your own hot chocolate, you can use any milk. So you can use oat milk and soy milk. Or you can definitely use them in blends. I actually blend them into pancake mix and make pancakes pretty much every week for my daughter. And we actually have some recipes on our website where we've got like gingerbread cake with them.
Wow.
And again, you can use them as a sprinkle again on porridge, and again on things like that. So yeah, they're really versatile. And I think once you kind of try them, and even try as a sprinkle, you'll come up with loads of ideas as well how you want to use it.
I love that. I love that this is the one day special. Nearly 20% of the stock has gone, £33.94 with an £8 saving, 622-753. And by the way, can I mention the gorgeous tin wrap in here that we have got as an end of cold offer? This is a traditional element, isn't it? Is it made with sari fabric?
Yeah, so this is kind of our idea, really. This is actually made by us in-house. My mum's an incredible seamstress, and she's got a team of seamstresses now that work for her. And yeah, this is made from silk sari fabric. So we've repurposed kind of new, but you know, old sari fabric, and we've made these beautiful gift wraps out of them. So they're all in different colours, and it just makes a nice gift, really. It just brings it together, makes a bit of a statement piece in people's kitchen. And so we get lots of men sending us pictures of them cooking with a tin and wearing them as hats as well, which is not traditionally what.
I have to say, I have tried it on as a hat. Yours will not have it tried on as a hat. That's an end of cold offer, so when you go to checkout, you can add that to your baskets. Now, the one day special, we know it, but now we have got different options, and we have got Baby Spice Kitchen. Now, when I saw this, I was watching lunch at the lunch show. I was like, Baby Spice? I mean, and then I got it, because for people. Can you tell us a little bit more of the background? Because I know why I would want it, but tell us why you decided to make it.
Yeah, sure. So this has actually been inspired by my little daughter, who's 2.5 now, and she's been on her weaning journey, obviously, since she's been 6 months, so for 2 years now. One thing I realised quite quickly as I was introducing flavours and spice into her diet was even a lot of our blends, but obviously shop bought, have salt and sugar and chili, kind of three things you don't really want to go into a baby's diet. So I stripped out all of those things from our blends, and I started introducing flavours into her dishes. She, definitely started to prefer the dishes with flavour in, and she's not a fussy eater at all. So I think that contributed to it. And it just was a natural thing to launch, and I kind of sent it out to friends and family, and they loved it. So we decided to launch it as a range, and it's been really, really popular. And what we've realised is it's really popular for those kind of young, mums with young ones, like 6 months to a year. But actually, it's been bought by a lot of parents for kids who are quite new in the kitchen, from say age, my daughter's age 3 to up to kind of even 10, 11. Again, because the dad might have a tin, but it's obviously got chilies and things in. But for the young cooks, it's a really cool way of getting them in the kitchen, getting them experimenting with you. It's been incredibly popular over the last year as more people have been at home with their families.
Of course.
And it's got a recipe book, as you're showing now, with lots of some really good inspiration on there, sweet dishes and savoury dishes. And it's also again backed up with a whole section on our website with hundreds of recipes, geared for these products.
I mean,
these spices.
I think that's a brilliant idea. I mean, I am somebody who I love food from all over the world, and sometimes, but I'm not too big on extreme heat. I like a little bit of heat, but not extreme. So something like this, for instance, could also appeal to me, because I know that it's not going to be too hot if I don't need to, and I know that will be safe. But also, I could mix and match, I guess, expanded these with the one-day special, and that would kind of give me more range. Would that be correct, an assumption?
Yeah, definitely. We've definitely seen some adults with even chili allergies, or just people who don't like any heat whatsoever. But in that tin, you've got Moroccan and Caribbean and Mexican, all which traditionally would have some chili in. Yeah. But this range has no chili in at all. So yeah, it's great if you don't like any chili at all.
Indeed. 338-918 is your item number. £24.95 is your price. Then we are going to the Morocco. I love Moroccan food. That is one of my absolute favorites. Now you're getting 9 fragrant spices as well, the tin. Can you talk us a little bit more about the spices that we are getting in this tin?
Definitely. Morocco is really dear to my heart. Me and my family went kind of 15 years ago, actually, all to Morocco for my dad's 60th birthday, and we just fell in love with the country. Morocco is obviously very famous for its tagine cooking, where you see those kind of cylindrical pots, clay pots, which they use to cook lots of their dishes in. But the tin's got a range of spices in, and the key one it's got is Ras El Hanout, which is a very traditional Moroccan blend. It's quite a complex blend, and has 13 ingredients in it. But Ras El Hanout is Arabic for head of the shop, which basically means the best spices every shop kind of has, and they make their own spice blend. So yeah, we've got a real good mix of tagine dishes, so you can see some chicken dishes, some sweeter dishes. I think there's a cookie, an orange and cassia cookie recipe, and that's my Ras El Hanout spiced caramel nuts you're showing. So yeah, it's got a good range, but again, it's just a starting place. If you've got this tin, you've got the guide, really you can open any Moroccan cookbook or any Moroccan recipe, and you should be able to cook it with these spices.
Absolutely. So and I'm gonna do something. I just need to. Oh yes. I love Morocco, and then Marrakesh, the Jamal Afna, the square, and that's the smells. I mean, there's a freshness as well in the spices. Definitely a feast for the senses. 229-794 is your item number. £24.95. Now, also very interested in that one, not gonna lie. Incredible ways with gin. That sounds really interesting. Can you tell us a little bit, how do we use it?
Okay, so our gin tin is really popular. It basically contains 7 key botanicals.
Yes.
So firstly, to understand, gin is basically alcohol infused with botanicals. You have to have juniper berries, which are in the tin, to make an official gin. But it's also got coriander seeds, which are very citrusy, rose petals, cardamom, that kind of aromatic that's used a lot in Indian cooking, pink peppercorns, orange, and also star anise. It comes with a guide. So there's kind of 3 key things you can do with this tin. The first is to make your own gin. So by infusing these botanicals with alcohol, mainly vodka, because it's flavorless, you basically make gin. So you can make a gin to your own delight and kind of to whatever flavor you like. The next thing you can do is actually make cocktails, and you make cocktails by making very, very simple syrups. So by taking, say, rose petals and boiling it up with water and sugar, you can make a syrup, and then that will make cocktails. And again, this is all in the guide. The final thing is obviously just to garnish your gin and tonics and make the best gin and tonics you've ever made. And I like to even freeze them in ice cubes, and it just makes a beautiful looking glass of drink, really. And it's a good one to impress your friends and family.
This is such an amazing present as well, because I think a lot of people that like their gin wants to, like you were saying, like make it a little bit more special. Some people like to get, maybe a cheaper gin and then get it a little bit of spices and one of the spices, ingredients to the botanicals to make it even more special. If you want to go for this amazing tin with the 7 removable tins, the 7 spices and the measuring spoon, £24.95 is your price. 534462 is your item number. Something that is new is the subscription boxes here. Now, we are starting with the 3-month subscription. What do we get here, Sanjay?
So yeah, we've decided to take our spices and put them without the tins, into little sets. So in the 3-month subscription, it's just a one-off payment, but then you actually get 3 full sets of spices sent out every month. You get our Indian range, which we've gone through. You get our world range, which is 9 of our key spice blends. And then the final one you get is our Middle Eastern set. So really you get, 30, 40 recipes and 3 guides. You're going to end up with kind of 30 odd plus spices. And it's just a really cool way to get started with cooking, to be inspired by the guides, and hopefully, give you more amazing dishes that will become part of your repertoire of dishes that you cook for yourself or your family.
Absolutely. I mean, I love the way of exploring the world through from home, but through the amazing tastes. Now, your first box will be India. The second one is around the world, and the third one is Middle Eastern and Africa Spice Collection. Now, I need to make it clear, this is a subscription box. However, you are paying one-off payment, and then you are going to get 3 months worth. £39.99 is your price. 985,937. You have a flexi buy option to spread the cost over 2 months of £20. And now, of course, you can make with these spices over 100 meals. That's an incredible amount, Sanjay. And I think that also the freshness of the spices will be special, and it will make the flavor even more intense, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as I said, we make everything fresh, so the spices are really good quality, and there's so many dishes at your your disposal here. But you're not just restricted to our recipes. If you pick up any Indian cookbook or any Indian recipe online, the 9 core spices within our tin can cook any of those. So it's really impressive, really.
Absolutely. Right, that is the 3-month subscription box. Then we have a 6-month. Remember, this is not a rolling contract. You pay once, and that will have all 6 months in the subscription there. So remember, you don't have to call and cancel, which I know can be a little bit annoying. No, you just do one-off payment. 6 boxes will be delivered here. Well, can you tell us a little bit about which ones do we get in the 6-month one?
Yeah, sure. So you get the same first 3. So you get Indian, and then around the world, and the Middle Eastern and Persian and African set. And then you're followed by 3 more. So you get our sea salt collection, which are 7 amazing salts combined with various things from herbs and chilies and garlic and onion. And you then are given a chili set. So these are 7 amazing chilies from around the world, from the Middle East to India, and Kashmiri chili powder from North India. And finally, you get the Moroccan set as well. So again, the one we've talked about, where for tagine cooking and Moroccan cooking, and you get our ras el hanout, kind of the 13 ingredient, a 13 ingredient kind of blend from Morocco, and it's won lots of awards as well. So
fabulous. Now, of course, for this option, you have got a flexi-buy as well, or £69 and £99 one-off payment. If you want to receive them, remember the option of spreading the cost in interest-free payments. Is it 35 pounds? 984562 is your item number. And then finally, we are kind of have a look at these options here that we have got. Now we have the African and Middle Eastern. Am I right to believe that this is a kind of like what you are getting in the subscription box, but however in the tin, in the presentable kind of gift present option?
Exactly. So the Middle Eastern tin's really popular. You get our kind of traditional Indian spice box, but with all your Middle Eastern spices in, and the guide. And, you know, there's a lot of popularity with people like Ottolenghi, who's an incredible Middle Eastern chef.
Yeah.
And it's basically some quite hard to get things. You've got your Moroccan ras el hanout in there, but we've got baharat, we've got za'atar, which is a really amazing herb blend. You've got sumac, which is a berry that's been crushed up, which is really citrusy. It's kind of what a lot of Middle Eastern people use. It's almost like a lemon replacement. Yeah. Great with fish and salads and hummus. And yeah, it's got a whole array of things in it, really. It's an amazing set. And, you know, if you're into Middle Eastern and Persian and Lebanese cooking, we've actually got a beber, which is an Ethiopian blend.
Yeah, of course.
Again, traditionally used there for Ethiopian cooking. So it's got a real good mix. And for anyone really into cooking, and certainly more advanced cooks looking for unusual spices, it's a really popular one.
And also, when I was looking at this, I mean, some of my family lived in Egypt or are from Egypt, and that I kind of is immediately related to those, you know, the za'atar, they have it as well, and also the harissa. I think it makes a beautiful a condiment for soups. Is that correct? I think for soups, it kind of spices them up.
Exactly. So harissa is really versatile. Often in the shops you'll see it as a wet paste, and that's great. And we've made it into like a dry rub, so you can use it for soups to spice those up, for stews. You can actually mix it with olive oil and lemon juice to make a kind of harissa paste. Oh, yeah. And then as a marinade for meat, because it is spicy, it is a chili rub, you can mix it with things like yogurt and make a bit of a milder rub. And that, you know, yogurt, again, marinated meat will help it tenderize the meat as well. So it's really, really versatile. And again, recipes in the guide and recipes online to kind of show you how to get the most out of it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Sanjay, if you want to get ready for the demonstrations, because we are eager to know how to use them as well. But we are going to show the last two options that you have got. We are going to start with the chili spicy. Now, this is definitely, I will be honest, like whenever I love something, I say, this is definitely the one that I would be just using for other people, not for myself. But this is the perfect one. If you want to spice up your food, if you want to bring it to a new level, this is the one. Right, of course, this is the chili spice tin. And the thing is, sometimes, like, you know, if you have got friends and family that really want to bring the taste, but like kind of, you know, like I remember one of my friends, he's from Pakistan, and he was saying, I'm not happy eating until I cry because the food is so hot that makes me cry. This is what it is. But also, funnily enough, it has the Spanish paprika, which in Spanish, in Spain we call pimentón, pimentón de la vera. And that's how we call it, the Spanish paprika. Then you also are getting Indian chili powder, dry whole chilies, Syrian Aleppo pepper. By the way, I have got pepper in my ear. I just don't know why you said that. Kashmir, and of course you have got so many options there to make the heat, to bring out those heat elements to your food. £24.95 for that one. 452332 is your item number. The last one is, of course, the world spice tin in here. This would, of course, as well comes with a free recipe booklet included, and the metal tin as well, the metal measuring spoon as well, and you have all the recipes in here. Fish tacos, ras el hanout, beautiful caramelized, Sanjay spice lamb tagine. We love a tagine, don't we? Chinese pork ribs. of course, tandoori chicken. So you have Chinese, you have got Indian, you have got Sri Lankan as well. You have got, you know, Mexican. You have got sweet and sour there as well. So all this world of spices in one tin, and now approaching 20% of the stock has gone. £24.95 is your price. 730133 is your item number. Sanjay, are you ready?
I am ready, yeah, as ready as I can be.
Okay, so how do we start? And what sort of, are you using the one day special, the spices?
Exactly, yeah. So I'm going to use our Indian spice box. So hopefully you can see it here.
Yeah.
So what we've done is we've taken the spices, we've decanted it into the spice box. So it's really, really easy to access. You've got your little spice spoon as well, which is a little stainless steel spoon, perfect size for kind of decanting your spices into the pan. I've got my pan on here, so it's just a normal pan with a bit of, and I'm going to put a bit of oil in once it kind of heats up. And yeah, it's really, really simple. So you've got, as I mentioned to you, you've got chili, you've got turmeric, coriander powder, cumin seeds, mustard seeds. You've got our garam masala, which is the key signature one, and then you've got cardamom, cloves, and cinnamon. So with these 9 spices, they're the building blocks for really all Indian food. And you know, with that, you can cook loads of things. So as I said, I cooked a couple of hours ago, like a chicken type curry. I'm just going to do a really, really simple chickpea curry for you now. And again, it's really using the same fundamental building blocks, which are spices, onion, ginger, garlic, and chili. And with these simple ingredients, you can make the base to really make any kind of meat curry or vegetarian curry. So yeah.
It's okay. So the onions, I was hearing, you know, like that's the very, one of the very basic ingredients, right? To caramelize them, you were saying.
Exactly, yeah. So depending on which dish you're going to make, you can really caramelize your onions. And also, the size of them makes a big difference. So
really?
if you puree them down, really, that's what's going to thicken the sauce at the end. So a lot of curries are thickened by really blending this down, and we're just going to chop it here. But you know, you can put them through a blender and make them really fine, and then cook them down, and that's what will make a really thick sauce.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, so just a bit of oil. Normally use flavorless oil, so avoiding olive oil, but rapeseed or sunflower oil or as any vegetable oil, and yeah, in with some onions. You can hear them sizzling away.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, next we've got some garlic. So again, some people like garlic, some people don't. I'm kind of a big fan, so we'll just chop a couple of garlic up.
Yeah.
And again, you know, you tend to find some similarities with Indian cooking. As I said, with these basic ingredients, you can pretty much cook any dish. You know, once you get quite familiar with our recipes as well, you'll see the kind of similar commonalities between these dishes and how to cook them.
And
honestly,
that makes it
it's just
easier, doesn't it? Once you start following the recipe, so you just alter the spices and things like that, and that will give you more taste, difference in taste.
Exactly. It's just altering the slight spices, maybe even sometimes altering the way we cook things. Yeah. You know, and how much you caramelize the onions, as I mentioned, and everything else will really kind of bring out different flavors. But yeah, altering the spices as well and following the guides that we've got will give you, you know, completely different versatile dishes. So, you know, we've got everything from, I've done a simple Bombay potatoes here, for example, which is really, really cool. We've got, you know, chicken dishes and lamb dishes next to me. So just by changing the bases and the spices, as I say, you've got lots and lots of different options. So yeah, I'm just going to chop up some garlic.
Garlic, yeah. And do you have any, like, for instance, you mentioned about different types of also onions early on. Do we have to look for a sweet onion, or doesn't matter, red onions or white onions doesn't really make a difference?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely differences in terms of the flavour. So again, the recipes we've got, you can kind of follow those.
Perfect, yeah.
I think in India, you do get lots of different types, but I think here we're kind of limited a little bit in terms of what you can get from your supermarkets.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, just follow simple recipes, and the onions are one part of these curries.
Absolutely.
So, you know, if you know.
It's the spices that actually build all that symphony of flavor.
Exactly. So, you know, we've got the onion and garlic cooking away, and I'll put some ginger in there as well. And now it's onto our spice box. So I'm going to make a chickpea curry. So the first thing I would always want to put in is turmeric. So turmeric's obviously really good, got lots of health properties, positive properties for you, but also adds all the colour to your dishes. So I'm just going to put you don't have to put too much, because again, the quality of what we've got here are really, really high. Coriander powder next. Coriander powder is actually quite citrusy. I was explaining on the other call as well. A really lovely spice. Obviously, it comes from the seeds, which are crushed down, and it will bring loads and loads of flavour to the dish. You're layering in flavours here, so by adding different flavours, the end dish will be quite complex, and that's what Indian food is all about.
Yeah.
I'm going to put in some cumin seeds, which are one of my favourite spices.
I
so
love
these are whole cumin seeds. You can crush them in, like if you've got a pestle and mortar or a little coffee or spice grinder, you can kind of crush them up. But again, really earthy from the cumin seeds, and again, as they cook down, you'll really be able to kind of smell them as they're cooking, but also, again, they'll add a lot of flavour.
Yeah. And is there something, like for instance, can we overcook the spices when we put them with the onions?
Yeah, I think you've just got to watch the heat. So I've just turned the heat down a little bit. The pan's kind of drying out, and you can sort of see the steam coming off initially from the onions, which is the moisture coming out of it. But as the steam dies down, that means there's not much water content left. So it might start to burn. So at this point, I'm just making sure that the spices don't stick, that there is enough moisture in here. But you can see they're cooking down really well. And what I am going to do is add in some spinach as well. So I'm just going to quickly go grab some spinach. And
yeah, fabulous. And one of the questions we have is that so for instance, now imagine I'm not a very good cook, so I kind of forget to overlook the pan. There's lacks a little bit of moisture. Could I put a little bit of water or maybe some cream or something to make it re-moisturize it?
Exactly that. So you can use water to put a bit of moisture in. People use stock. I'm actually going to put spinach in here. So spinach, again, has quite a lot of water content in it. So that will stop it burning, really. But again, I'm going to cook a vegetarian dish here. So it's a really, really simple chickpea curry. I'm using that base that I've talked about twice today. And rather than putting chicken in now, I'm going to put in some chickpeas and some tomatoes. And pretty much, we'll have made something amazing. It doesn't have to take long, Indian food either. And, chickpea curries is one of the things that I kind of knock up regularly when I'm running out of time, actually. So, yeah.
Fabulous. And also, of course, that will make it, obviously, we haven't put cream on it. It would be vegan, right?
Completely vegan, yeah. There's absolutely no dairy products, animal products in here. So, yeah, it's simply spices, onions, spinach. I'm going to add the chickpeas in now. And we'll add some tomatoes in, and it's pretty much ready, really. I would normally put in some coriander leaves as well. I mean, some people don't like coriander, fresh coriander, that is, and some people do. I think some people have got like a genetic disposition to it. It tastes almost soapy, really, which is quite unusual. But, it's obviously up to, that's normally added at the end. So, again, if some of your family like it and some don't, then you don't have to add it.
Absolutely.
And again, you can see the colour of the turmeric kind of staining those chickpeas, and you'll see that colour coming through the end dish as well. So
that is gorgeous, and I can imagine how it smells. Obviously, we are not in the same studio. Now, this is why you need the one day special. You want to create quick and easy, authentic recipes. You have got the recipes in here, but more importantly, you have got the most key ingredient. You can get onions in the supermarket. You can get garlic in the supermarket. You can get chickpeas and all the things. But can you get the most amazing spices sourced through the world by people who know how they need to be, how they need to be blended, how they need to be fresh, how they need to taste, how they need to kind of have the kind of, like what I call it, a symphony of flavor. Why? Because I always say that I went once to a very famous restaurant in London, and I was bitterly disappointed. And the only way I could express it, it was like, you taste it, it was fine, it was nice, but then there was no depth to it. This is what adds the depth. It's not just the heat, but that first taste, the second taste, the waves of immense flavor. And that you are getting because you are having here all these different blends in here. You are getting, blends as well as single spices. You are getting 9 of them. Garam masala being a mix already, there's recipe, the unique recipe. You have got ground coriander, turmeric powder. I'm a massive fan of turmeric powder. mustard seed, cassia, cardamom, cloves, chili powder, cumin seeds as well. So all of them bring all those flavors. You can customize it. This is the other great thing about having the spices here, because you can experiment. One day you can put more mustard seeds. The next day you can say cumin. You can blend how much chili you want into. Some of us don't like it too chili, but we like just the taste. You are in control of your unique blend, because you have got here the spices sourced throughout the world, crafted here in the UK, blended to perfection. And then you have the tin to keep them all there. It comes in with the individual pans, and this is just such an amazing thing. It's kind of almost like a heritage thing to have. It's not just something that it looks good, but this is how traditional Indian cooking is kept, you know, the spices. And I remember, you know, suddenly I remember a comment of a friend of mine, and she was like, this is like the treasure. This is like the heart of the kitchen, because that is what gives it that intensity, that fire, the inner fire of flavor. That's what is kept, and this is one of the treasure thing to keep. Sanjay was saying in the first show how this then it gets passed on to generations, that tin of spices, and of course again you have got a fabulous present as well. The one day special is not just the Indian spice tin, but also the amazing blend of hot chocolates. You are getting the yummiest hot chocolate, and remember, this is dairy-free and gluten-free, as is the chai hot chocolate. So inspired by the chai lattes, the chai teas from India, this is another twist with the hot chocolate in there. And also remember that chocolate is something that comes from the Aztecs, right? And it used to be a spice chili and kind of thing that the Aztecs would used to do. So here we have got the spices, but another twist to the tale of the ever-changing chocolate world. And then we have got gingerbread hot chocolate, more inspired, as Sanjay was saying, by the Dutch gingerbread. So again, you have got cardamom, you have got cloves, you have got ginger, you have got white pepper. That gives it that fullness of flavor. This also makes, of course, a beautiful present, but if you are a baker, you will know what to do with these ones as well. You can make it in not just as a drinks. I love the fact that this is a beautiful present, but it's an experience for the whole family and for yourself to experiment with flavor, experiment with cooking, and enjoy what you make. 62,753 is your item number. £33.94 is your price, saving £8. Maybe you are not a sweet person. Maybe, well, I mean, sweet tooth. I'm sure you are very sweet, you know, but you know, you don't want the hot chocolate, or maybe you don't like chocolate. I mean, can I have your portion of chocolate? Because anyway, moving on from that. But you want just the Indian recipe tin. You can have that on its own, £24.95. Of course, if you go for the one-day special, that's where the saving is. In whatever case, whether you go for the one-day special or the tin on its own, you will get the recipes, the Indian recipe guide. What you get in here is, of course, Sanjay's and his mom, you know, favorite recipes. So you are getting in here the dal makhani. Then you have, of course, the lentil-based tandoori chicken. And remember, you can go to the website and have a lot more recipes, but also, for instance, some people like to do, you know, just kind of change the chicken for tofu. So for instance, you could create something like that. Or Rajasthan lamb curry. I don't eat that much lamb, but I love, you know, duck, for instance. And I know this is kind of completely, everybody goes like duck to India, but you can experiment. Nobody's going to police what you do at home. And it's about all the flavors that you personally like, all the meat that you like or the not meat. Paneer Makhani has to be one of my absolute favorites. But I never dreamt to cook it. Now with this, you will have the spices and the know-how to cook it. And remember that you are in control of how much cream or how much elements or water or sugars you are putting. Now, this is an amazing tin on its own. If you want it, well, I need to tell you that last time we had it, it did sell out on its own. And now we are 20% of the stock gone. And remember, this is like a 24 hours of stock, sort of, because it's a one-day special. So make sure to check out the baskets to not miss out. Because remember, the prices were going to stay for 24 hours. However, will the stock stay there? This is what you are getting in here. It smells so good. Garam masala, chili powder, cumin seeds, ground coriander, turmeric powder, mustard seeds, cassia, cardamom, and cloves. And remember, then having the tin like this, you can have it on display, and then you can do like Sanjay, just placing and just kind of choosing how much you are putting, and I think it makes the whole experience more authentic and the flavors even more interesting. Sanjay, where are we now? What are we going to do?
Yeah, no, pretty much finished actually. So yeah, we made an amazing chickpea curry. I'll try and pick the pan up. So it's just finishing off from where I was. I've just put some tomatoes and some chickpeas in. So that's really tasty. I've just tasted it. It's absolutely beautiful. But yeah, with the spices, I made like a really simple cumin rice. So again, just using a bit of oil and kind of sizzling off, tempering a few cumin seeds and then boiling up your rice. You can make a really simple rice dish. And again, just from the guide, we've got lamb dishes here. I've got chicken dishes that I've made. Once you've tried, once you keep experimenting, honestly, there's so many things that you can do, and it's extremely simple. So
fabulous. That's brilliant. Now. Well, we are going to have another look at the other items that we have in this show. I mean, I have to say, the Baby Spice Kitchen, now that is absolutely... sorry, Sanjay, could you turn around the camera? Okay, all right, see, all right. Right, so we have the Baby Spice Kitchens here, of course, inspired by Sanjay's daughter, and I think this is a really, really cool thing. Maybe you are a little bit scared, like I am, of really intense heat, and, I'm to a point now where I'm quite confident that I could go for the one that is special and not be too burn out, basically. But I know that me 5-10 years ago, this would be definitely the one to go, because it doesn't have chili, does it, Sanjay? So it doesn't have chili. It doesn't have salt, or it doesn't have sugar. So it is kind of even better for the little ones as well. But it still has all the richness of flavor. You have as well, of course, the recipes for around the world, because it's not just about Indian cooking. It's about also some Caribbean classics, but without that intensity of flavor that may scare children. And of course, you have them in here. All that, for instance, I love that kind of tropical jerk salmon. Isn't that amazing? And also it's great to give them a taste for, more exotic foods as well. Sanjay, I think that now you are back with us. Can you tell us a little bit more about this amazing Baby Spice Kitchen tin?
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned to you, the baby tin is very much an inspiration from my daughter, and it's a really good one for not only kind of young, very, very young children who are being weaned by their parents, but actually young cooks as well, because, there's no salt, there's no sugar, there's no chili, and therefore they can use these to experiment, to chop. We've seen a real popularity in this last year, especially when more people have been at home and been with families. And it's got kind of 6 savoury blends, and then it's got our keynote gingerbread mix, the same one that goes into our hot chocolate, and that's really cool for making cakes and cookies and biscuits, and again, as a sprinkle and porridge and things. One thing that I have found, a couple of things that I found. One, it's really good for fussy eaters. If you've got a child who's slightly fussy, often by introducing a bit of flavour into their food, they actually kind of prefer the food, really. And I think it helps certainly my daughter was fussy in the early years, but as we introduced more flavour, she became less so. And certainly we saw less food on the floor and more in her mouth, which is always a good thing. But the other thing that it's really good for is actually young cooks. So we've really been surprised by the amount of, 3-year-olds up to sort of 10-year-olds with their own little Baby Spice kitchen tin, even though they're not babies themselves anymore, and, cooking along with their parents who often have got, one of their own with their adult blends in. And, our whole business is all about bringing family and friends together through food and to connect people through food. And, my mum's taught me and my siblings how to cook, and we just hope that we can share some of that knowledge and love that we have for spices and food with other people, really, and then they can kind of share that with their children or their loved ones. So yeah, if you can connect through food, then it's just a great thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think that that is a great way of saying connecting with food. And also kind of my niece is, and it's going to be 9 years old next week, but with my grandma, she spent, with her grandma, which is my mother, they spend a lot of time. And one of the things she loves is cooking, learning how to cook and experiencing different flavors and different spices. I think this is a fabulous present, either from the grandchild to the grandmother or vice versa.
Yeah, we very much see our products being bought like that. So from grandparents to their grandchild, from grandparents to their children, from kids, actually, a lot of parents buying for their Mother's Day and Father's Day and for their parents, especially at Christmas. We see a lot of our products actually being bought from men. So be that your nephew or your son or your grandson. Again, you know, men are quite hard to buy for. I know I am. But if they are into food, or if you're a wife and would like to get your husband more into the kitchen, for example, you know, with the guide and with the spices, you know, it gives them an opportunity to experiment and to learn and to hopefully broaden their horizons into more cooking. So yeah, they're really popular in lots of different ways. And, you know, it's just so lovely to see the positive feedback we get from our customers and from the people gifting it and the people receiving it. So
fabulous. 338-918 is the item number for the baby spice kitchen. Now £24.95 is the price. Then we have, of course, the Moroccan spice tin. Can we go through again of exactly what we get in this tin, Sanjay?
Yeah, sure. So in this tin, again, you get 9 spices. So you get everything from bay leaves to ginger powder. We've got chili powders in there. You've also got baharat, which is a really amazing North African blend. And then the key one that you get, the key spice in here is Ras El Hanout. So Ras El Hanout is the spice blend of Morocco. It's Arabic for head of the shop, which really means the best spices any kind of one of these little spice shops in Morocco would have. And then traditionally they kind of blend that up every day and make an amazing blend. So they do differ, and ours has got our own kind of blend, which we've worked with Moroccan chefs to create, and it's got 13 ingredients in it, including rose petals. But yeah, with that blend, it's so versatile. You can make amazing tagines, you can use it to flavor your rice and couscous, you can use it for even sweet things. And we've actually got a Ras El Hanout kind of caramelized nuts, pecan nuts in the back of the guide, which is really popular with my little one, actually, and lots of my family. It's a nice little kind of one with a drink as well. So
fabulous. I love these stories as well, and of course having the recipes makes it all easier to use. 229-7914 is your item number, £24.95. And then this is for the gin lovers, the gin botanical tin. I mean, it looks just beautiful. I mean, and I can imagine to bring in this out, you know, in a summer evening, just kind of everybody in the patio having their own concoction of the gin.
Yeah, as I said, there's lots of things you can do with the tin. It's got 7 of our core botanicals you need for gin. You've got juniper berries, which are the signature. You've got coriander seeds, rose petals, cardamom, pink peppercorns, orange, and star anise. And so the guide will show you how to make your own gin, which is simply infusing this with vodka. You can then make really simple syrups, say with rose petals or the star anise. And with those, you can make amazing cocktails. And again, in the guide, there's a number of cocktails in there. And finally, I love to, certainly in the summer months, freeze lots of these botanicals in ice cubes. And then I kind of use it as a garnish in gin and tonics, which always impresses friends and family, though has taken me no time at all, really.
Absolutely. It's just a beautiful thing, and I think for a present for some, like you're saying, like somebody that you don't know what to get them, this could be perfect. £24.95 is the price. 534462 is your item number. Then we have the 3 subscription box, or anyway, so what you need to do is basically it's one-off payment. It's not rolling contract. You just pay one-off, and it's 3 boxes that you are going to receive. You're going to get 1 a month, 1 every month, and you will have those 3 ones. Now, of course, this is so are we going to start always with the Indian one, the first one?
Yeah, the first box you receive is Indian, and that will be in your post as soon as you order, really. And you'll be followed by the next month the World Collection, which is 9 of our amazing blends. And this actually doubles up as a barbecue rubs tin. So again, you've got Ras Al Hanout, garam masala, tandoori masala, you've got Sri Lankan curry powder, and then you've got Mexican jerk and even our Chinese blend. So this is perfect for barbecues, perfect for seasoning meats, and again, really good for roasting vegetables, most of those. And again, comes with a fabulous guide. And then the third month, you will get our Middle Eastern and African collection. So, 30 odd spices there over 3 months with 3 recipe guides, 30, 40 recipes. And obviously we're backed up by our website where you've got hundreds more recipes. So yeah, we're so pleased with the feedback. It's been amazing since we launched it only in January. Actually, it's a very new launch for us. And yeah, we've got hundreds of subscribers.
Fabulous.
And they love it.
And you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna tell the story. I was smelling every single spice in here, and I was transported to different parts of the world. And each one of these beautiful these bags, the spices, was completely a different personality. If different character. Some of them had a little bit more sharpness. Some of them had a little bit more kind of more citrusy. If you want to like kind of those flavors, I think this is an incredible opportunity to grab 3 different boxes with 3 different spice stories, in fact. And of course, for just £39 and 99 pence, 985 937. Remember, this is not a subscription that you pay and then you have to cancel it and then you kind of no. You one-off payment, you get 3, 1 delivered every month. And I believe, am I right thinking that the first one it will be dispatched immediately? The second one will it be in the first, or do you have a date when it's being dispatched?
Yeah, so we deliver the first one straight away and then really receive them 30 days after that. That's how we normally work. So we don't, so even if you order on the 4th of the month, we'll make sure the next one goes out around the 4th of the following month.
Perfect. So it's kind of almost like traveling around the world in 3 months, which sounds good, especially when we cannot, well, actually around the world in 90 days. I mean, almost. The voices in my ear work it out. I'm not very good at these things, except if it's February. February has passed. Anyway, let's move on from that. And now you have also the option to go for 6 months. The first 3 are the same, so Indian and the world, and then we have, of course, the African and Middle Eastern, but then we are going into Moroccan spices, then we have got the chili, and finally the salt. One of the ones, Sanjay, that really interests me, just because I love the spices, but also I love salt you are getting here. Can you talk us a little bit more about the salt collection?
Yeah, I mean, we've made salt blends for a number of years now, and you get 7 salt blends included in this tin. Some of them blended with onion, some with garlic, some with herbs. And again, it comes with an amazing recipe guide, which is really versatile, which gives you various things from making prawns to guacamole. I think we've got a salted caramel, one of my favorites, a salted caramel fudge in it. Buttery caramel sauce. I'm a big fan of Bloody Marys, so it teaches you how to make a really cool Bloody Mary in there. And yeah, just a whole array of salads, and it just shows the versatility of salt. It's not just something you add for a little bit of flavor. Actually, it can become one of the keynote flavors of dishes. So yeah, hopefully some really cool inspiration in there. But also salts are just really good for roasting vegetables. So you can use them in their form or ground up slightly to roast vegetables. And again, really good for steaks and meats and things, making them really crispy as they draw out the moisture. 984562 is your item number. Remember, this is a subscription box, but you buy it once, you pay once. You have got a flexi-buy payment if you wanted to, and you don't have to cancel. This is going to be just for 6 months, but you have got that kind of looking forward to what's going to come. All right, and now we have got more for you. Of course, we do. We have got now here. We are going to have a look. I believe this is the world's spice thing. Now, of course. This is a travel around the world, and if you want it, it's the same in the subscription box. However, this comes in the tin, so you can have it. The tin keeps them fresher, doesn't it, Sanjay? Yeah, the tin's really useful for two things. So one, it keeps the spices really fresh. It comes with a lid which is airtight,
Yeah.
and you've got two options really. Some customers like to keep the spices in the packets
Yeah.
because all our packets are resealable, or you can decant them like I showed you when I was
Yeah.
cooking, and you can keep them kind of loose. But as long as you keep the lid on, it'll keep it really fresh. And the Whirl tin has 9 of our core blends in there. So it's got 3 Indian blends: garam masala, Sri Lankan curry powder, and tandoori masala. It's got 3 Middle Eastern: ras el hanout, za'atar, and harissa, and it's got Mexican jerk and Chinese. So with these 9 blends and rubs, you can do so many things. And the guide again gives you a bit of inspiration, which is only the starting place. We've got hundreds more on the website. So again, in the guide, we've got things like Jamaican style pork. We've got Sri Lankan aubergine curry. We've got fish tacos. We've got my lamb tagine, which is really popular. Our Palestinian beef stew, Sri Lankan prawn curry. I mean, there's a whole list of recipes here, and we just hope that it gives some inspiration to people who get this set. And we're always inundated with people recreating these and saying it's one of their favorite dishes.
Now,
So
Sanjay, we have got seconds. We were kind of all involved into your description of beautiful spices and beautiful travels, and foods and recipes. Thank you so much for joining us. You're back tomorrow at 12, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm back tomorrow at 12, and I'm really excited to come back again. So.
It is. Thank you so much for joining us. It smells amazing, and I'm sure the food tastes incredible with your spice. Thank you, Sanjay. We'll see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Remember, this is an audience that you don't have the 8 a.m. You have got the 12 p.m. to look forward to. Check out your baskets for anything that in the show. You are going to love the smells and the fragrances from this Spice Kitchen. And stay tuned for more after the break.